Hey everybody, Sinful Duck here, and with Diablo 3 we actually have a pretty significant patch coming up here. Is patch 1.0.3, and they're making some pretty significant changes to the game in this one. And I just want to take a couple minutes to go through these and just give you guys a couple of the key points here from it, and get your thoughts. I want to know what you guys think on these things. First of all, the big issue for most people is going to be the difficulty gap in Inferno. And looking at Blizzard's website here and seeing what they said about it, they have said that Act 1 in Inferno is right where they want it to be. The difficulty as far as how hard the mobs hit, how much health they have, everything is right where they want it. But they've also said that getting into Act 2 is like trying to break through a brick wall. And they want to try and lower that difficulty to allow more people to get in and enjoy Inferno the rest of the game. Now, to do that, what they're doing is they're going to make the mobs not hit as hard, and they're going to lower their amount of health that they have. So they're going to be easier to kill, they're not going to hit as hard. I know a lot of people very upset about this. They think Inferno is just fine. It's not too difficult. You just have to put in the time and get the gear. And to a certain extent, I completely agree. But let me know in the comments. What side of this are you on? Do you think they should leave it alone, or are you kind of happy that these changes are coming? I know most people are kind of split on it, so let me know where you guys are at. The second thing that goes along with that is the items. And currently in the game, there's item levels, and they're getting more in depth with this in the next patch here, but they have item level 61, 62, and 63. Obviously, 63 is going to be your top level items, the best stuff in the game. And right now, the way it works is you can only get them in Acts 3 and 4 in Inferno, and with this new patch, what they're doing is they're going to make it so that you can actually get the top level items in Inferno Act 1. Now, the drop rate is only going to be something like 2% in Act 1, and then if you go to Act 2, it's going to double. You're going to get a 4% drop rate. Moving from 2 to Act 3, that drop rate is going to double again. So you're going to be at about 8% for the best items in the game. Now, to be honest with you, I kind of like this, because if you are somebody who's in Act 3 or 4 and you're going through, you're doing Siegebreaker runs to get the good gear or whatever the case is, this at least gives you another option. So, you can go through and you can do your Siegebreaker runs if you want to, or farm Diablo or whatever you're doing. And in Act 3 and 4, you've got a good chance, I shouldn't say a good chance, but you've got a much better chance of that item level 63 piece dropping. Or, if you're tired of that and you want to change a pace, now you can go back to Act 1. You do only have a 2% drop rate, but you can kill things much, much quicker. So, in my eyes, it kind of offsets itself. You don't have as good of a chance, but you're also getting a lot more drops. So, it kind of evens out. So you get a chance to kind of do whatever you want. You can farm this the way that you want to do it, which I think is important, and it's kind of what they're pushing for. This kind of brings me to another point here, which is the Nephilim Valor. And the way that it works right now, I know it doesn't say this in the tooltip, but Blizzard has confirmed this on their website right now, is that with 5 stacks of Nephilim Valor, you're guaranteed to get 2 rare drops on a boss. And with this new patch coming up, they're changing that. You're only going to get, with 5 stacks, you're only going to get 1 rare per boss, guaranteed. You can still get more, it's just not guaranteed anymore. But to help offset that, they're making it so if you have your 5 stacks, that rare enchant packs will actually drop more rares. You'll actually get guaranteed rares from that. This, I think, is a good thing and a bad thing. I think for a lot of people, you're used to going out, getting your 5 stacks, killing the boss, and starting over. That's just the way people have been programmed so far to play the game. And it's going to make everybody sort of change their play style. Now you're gonna have the ability, I think, to get a lot more drops out of it. And rather than kill the boss and start over, it feels like they're kind of pushing to get people to actually progress through the game. You know, kill that boss and move on. Don't just start over, but they want you to push forward. I think it can be a good thing, but I think it's going to meet a lot of resistance. So, again, what do you guys think about that? Do you think it's a good thing for Blizzard to be doing, or do you think they should have just left it alone? Another topic I wanted to get into here just real quick, which is important for me, and I think it's actually already hot fixed. I think they already added it in this past weekend. But when you're in a group now, the damage that the monsters do to you is going to be reduced. So I know a lot of people used to play solo because sometimes in Inferno the champ packs are just too difficult to kill because the damage output that they have is increased so much. So a lot of people were having difficulty with it, so they just play solo. Now that damage is reduced, and from some of the things that they're doing with this, it looks like they're really pushing to have more group play. So that's a good thing for me because I have friends that I like to play with, and it is much easier to do solo. And I actually prefer playing with people, so this is a good thing for me. And let's see, moving on here. Repair costs. Repair costs in the new patch are actually going to be going up. One of the things that they've been looking at is how often do people just go in and keep dying. You know, you get that champ pack or whatever, and you run them back to a doorway at a checkpoint, and you just, you know, let Tyrael sit there and beat on them, or, you know, whatever the case is, but you just keep dying over and over to them, and you don't care because repairing is cheap, and it doesn't matter if you die. So what they're doing to try and help this, to, you know, sort of make people play a little more cautiously, is they're increasing the repair costs by, they haven't given an exact number, but they said somewhere between 4 to 6%, or not 4 to 6%, but 4 to 6 times. Let's see, what else are they doing here? Attack speed. If you're a class who's been going out and you're setting up your gear and you're building everything based off of attack speed, be careful. I would hold off and wait on that. They are actually talking about nerfing attack speed. Actually, I shouldn't even say that they're talking about nerfing it. They are going to nerf it. They just haven't quite decided how yet. They've thrown out a few ideas, but the one that they've said that they're kind of leaning towards is just lowering the value on all attack speed items. So if you've got something that's got, I don't know, 15% attack speed on it, that could be getting changed here soon. So be careful with the attack speed, and we'll see what they do with that here coming up. Another thing is crafting. They've noticed that nobody's using crafting. And I know for me, the reason that I'm not using crafting is kind of a couple things, but number one, it just costs a ton to level it up, and, you know, especially like gems. If I want to make some gems, it costs a fortune to upgrade gems or create new good gems, you know. And what they're doing now is they're going to lower the cost, and from what they've shown so far, they're lowering the cost by a lot. On some of them, they're lowering the cost from about 20,000 gold down to 100 gold. So it's a really significant decrease in cost. So that's a good thing. But the other reason I don't really use crafting too much, especially the blacksmith, is because of the randomness. If I'm going to spend the money and the materials to create an item, I don't want to have to spend, you know, all that extra gold and materials and things. I want to be able to make something and know what I'm going to get, you know. I actually made something today that should have been something good. It turned out to be complete crap, and I spent way too much time on it. But we'll see what they do with that in the future. But for now, they're going to lower those costs, so that's good. So maybe that'll make the randomness worth it. Who knows? Another big thing, and kind of the thing I'm going to wrap up with here, is that in this patch, they are actually not going to be doing any class balancing, they said. They said that they do have a couple of small skill changes that they want to make, but for the most part they're happy with everything the way it is right now, and they want people to keep experimenting, you know. At this point there's so much diversity in the builds that you can do for each class, and I think people are still working on that, you know, still trying to find what's the best, you know, what's the most optimal for their play style, and Blizzard's happy with that, so they're not going to screw with it right now. They will be doing some class balancing in patch 1.1, and they'll talk about that later, obviously, because we're not sure when that one's coming, but we'll see more when we get there. That's it for now, guys. Those are kind of the key points I wanted to go over. If there's something that you think I left out, go ahead and let me know in the comments. We'll go ahead and add it in here. Let me know on those other topics. Where you stand, you know, on the difficulty drop and the rare drops on the bosses. Let me know what you think about those, and go ahead and thumbs up the video if you guys like it, and make sure to subscribe to see when my next video comes out. Until next time, guys, take care.